What I came to realize was that someday people were going to look back at all the technology they'd thrown away and said to themselves, hey, I wish I hadn't thrown that out. And so that's kind of the experience that I wanted to create, was where someone could come in and say, I remember that. I had one of those when I was younger.
So what you just saw just now was a little mini clip of the late, great Syd Bolton. And since it's been a little while since the last Otaku Storytime, welcome to an all-new episode, you guys. So for today's Otaku Storytime, you guys already read the title. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys the story of how I became friends with Canada's top video game collector. Let's do this. Alright, before we start the story, I have something I have to say. I have always wanted to tell this story for the longest time. And I know some people will say, well, why didn't you at first? Why didn't you want to share this on your YouTube channel? Well, I just basically felt like I just basically needed to recuperate myself after Syd had passed away on June the 11th of 2018, and I wanted to let him rest for a little while until I told my story. It's going on 6 years since Syd Bolton passed away in 2018, and Syd Bolton was just a super, super friendly guy. Very warm, very lovable, not only just basically in his community and in Canada, but like the video game community at large. Like the video game community, including myself, loved him to death. We absolutely loved Syd Bolton. He was very knowledgeable, he was very respectful, and so much more other words I can describe him in the book. All right, with all of that being said, here's my story of how I was friends with Canada's top video game collector, the late, great Syd Bolton. So, back in 2016, I had a Twitter account back in the day. I no longer have it because I deactivated it for my own personal mental health, because everybody knows what a toxic shit show Twitter can be. So anyways, when I had my Twitter account back in the day, I followed Syd Bolton, and I also posted on my Twitter and retweeted on my Twitter like some stuff about video games, or I would retweet some stuff that he was doing in the Personal Computer Museum. And then one day, Syd Bolton actually followed me. And I was just like, whoa, Canada's top video game collector, Syd Bolton, is following me? That's just awesome. So I messaged him on one of the days when the Personal Computer Museum was closed, because when Syd opened up the Personal Computer Museum in 2005, he would always have the Computer Museum open on Monday, and throughout all the rest of the week, it would be closed. So it was like either a Saturday or a Sunday that I messaged Syd Bolton, and he immediately responded back, because Syd Bolton was such a good replier. If you message him, he would message you right back in an instant. And he was very, very friendly with me, and of course I was very friendly with him. I asked him a couple of questions about the Personal Computer Museum. I asked him some questions about video game collecting, and I just basically said, how much do you know about computers and video games? And then he just basically replied, does a lot count? Yeah, he was amazing. I absolutely loved Syd Bolton to death. I've never met him in person, but like we've always talked online. We've always talked, and we've kept in touch for over 2 years. I kept in touch with him from 2016 all the way up until his death in 2018. One of my best memories that I have with Syd Bolton is just basically telling him about Galloping Ghost Arcade out in Brookfield, Illinois, because you guys know that I visit that place quite often. And I just basically said, one day, Syd, I would love to see you at Galloping Ghost Arcade. So I basically gave him the rundown of Galloping Ghost Arcade. I gave him the history of Galloping Ghost Arcade, and he said, whoa, now that sounds like an awesome place to be. And I said, it is a really awesome place to be, man. You just pay a small additional price to cover cost, and every single game is on free play. It'll just basically give you back those golden years of playing games in the arcade, and just basically make you feel good all around, because there's just basically a maze of arcade machines everywhere. And I think the dude had a nerdgasm when I told him that there was just a maze of arcade machines everywhere. And I said, Syd, you good? And he said, I'm all good, Alex. I'm just having a nerdgasm right now. I said, I don't blame you. Another great memory I have with Syd Bolton in regards to our conversations, he said this to me on my 20th birthday, May 7th, 2017. He said, you know, Alex, someday I would love to have you down here in Canada to discuss computers and discuss video games and have you record footage of the personal computer museum for your YouTube channel, because I told him what I do on YouTube. I told him I do like a hodgepodge of nerdy things from anime to video games, etc., etc., etc. And he said, whoa, like your channel sounds really cool, man. And I said, thank you very much. You know, I've been slowly but surely building it up. And I asked him if he was into anime, and he said, honestly, Alex, anime is not really my thing, but I do respect those who are into anime like yourself. And he did say that he did get a big chunk of anime fans at the Personal Computer Museum, because they would always ask him if, he has Street Fighter or KOF, what have you. And also, he even knew the unfinished GOAT of all masterpieces when it comes to fighting games, Doraku Tenshi, The Fallen Angels. So next year rolls around. I messaged him on January 4th of 2018. Even though we were in 4 days of 2018, I just basically wished him a happy belated new year. And I said, how's your 2018 treating you so far, Syd? And he said, so far so good. I've been sick for a little while and now I feel better. And I said, well, that's good to know. And I hope your 2018 brings you a whole lot of happiness, Syd, to both you and your wife. And he said, thank you very much, man. I wish you all the best in 2018 too. And little did I know, when he said that I was sick, I didn't know that brief illness would eventually kill him at the end of the day. So the day was May 7th, 2018, and Syd Bolton messaged me for the last time. And he said to me that I wish you a happy 21st birthday, Alex. I hope your birthday brings you lots of joy, lots of happiness, and so much more stuff in between. And I told him, thank you. And I said, someday, man, someday I will come down to the Personal Computer Museum, and not only will you and I shake each other's hands warmly and greet each other with open arms, but I would be more than happy to just have footage of your Personal Computer Museum, your video game collection for my YouTube channel, because I think my audience will be very jazzed at what you have. And he said, sounds good, keep me informed. That was the last conversation. June 9th, I sent Syd one final message. I just basically asked him a question about a video game. I forgot what video game that I was asking him about. And I just basically said, have you ever heard of it? That was the last question I asked. I never heard back. Then a few days later, on June 11th, I finally got a reply. Are you Alex? Says the reply. And I said, yes. And I just basically said, who am I talking to? Like, is that you, Syd? And then the reply said, no, it's Jen, his wife. I said, oh, hi, how are you doing? And she said, unfortunately, Alex, I'm not good. And I said, why, what's wrong? And then she told me, Syd's dead. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked to hear that. I said, what happened? And Jen replies, he's been battling a brief illness for a little while, but he passed away peacefully with me and family and friends by his side in the hospital. And I said, okay, well, I hope you guys do well, and I hope he rests in peace. And she said, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, man. That was devastating news. Not only just basically for the video game community or Syd's community, but the world of nerd culture at large. That was a huge fucking blow. And then sometime in July, Jen asked me, am I willing to join the celebration of Syd's life? And I told her, unfortunately, I don't have any money to travel to Canada right now, but I do wish you all the best. Like, my condolences goes out to you. My condolences goes out to Syd and his family and his friends and everybody who he has touched in his life. And Jen said, I understand completely. Thank you very much, and thank you for being my husband's friend. I said, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Jen. Your husband was a good man. The best, in my personal opinion. And Jen said, he really was. Following Syd's death, the personal computer museum was closed to the public permanently. I forgot what date they closed it on, but they did close it permanently because nobody could operate that place like Syd did when he was alive. So that was completely understandable. And I think Jen said that she donated all of the computers to charities for people who need computers in a lifetime, and I really respected that decision. What's going to happen with Syd's collection? Well, only time will tell. And that was the story of how I was friends with Canada's top video game collector, Syd Bolton. I miss my buddy more than y'all can ever know, and in his honor, I'm getting more and more into gaming each passing day as time goes on. And of course, I'm starting to collect video games myself. And I'm not, I'm just basically saying, hey, I'm going to have like the biggest video game collection that, outbeats Syd. No, I'm basically doing this because gaming is very, very fun. I'm starting to realize the true beauty of gaming because, like, don't get me wrong, you guys, I love video games before in the past, but now, like, I'm really starting to open my eyes to see, like, how beautiful and fun gaming truly is. And whenever it comes to collecting anime, video games, or whatever happens to tickle my fancy, I have that collecting bug, and I am never going to stop. And I always love sharing my collections with people, as Syd did with his collection. And I'm going to end this video on 2 quotes that I live by that Syd Bolton taught me, and I'm pretty sure that he taught you guys, if you guys have known him personally like I did, or anything else in between. Number 1, if you're collecting without purpose, what does it really matter? What Syd is saying that you can't possibly enjoy a big collection all by yourself, and it's a whole lot more fun when you share that collection with other people, especially those who reciprocate the same interests as you do. And finally, number 2, it's all about following your dream. Okay, so as you guys already know, my dream is to travel to Japan someday, and Syd Bolton's dream was to make a museum of computers since his collection of computers was getting big ever since he was 16 years old. And since I haven't memorized the quote completely like I did the previous one, I'll have Syd say it himself. Take it away, Syd.
Whatever your dream is, don't ever give up on it. You can make it happen just like I did, and all it takes is consistent effort and the belief in yourself that you can make it happen. And automatically people around you will believe in it too, and this is the result.
Wise words from a wise man and a wise friend. So if you guys want to subscribe to Syd Bolton's channel and just basically see the amount of times he appeared on television, or if he appeared on the news, or just basically various other news sources covering his collection, I left a link to it down in the description box below. All right, everybody, this just about wraps things up for today's video. If you guys liked today's video, give it a like. If you guys have anything to say about today's video, give it a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for future nerdy videos when they come out. You guys already know who I am. I'm Anime Warlord. Stay nerdy, stay safe out there. Have a great day, have a great evening, whatever your time zone may be. And always remember to take care of yourselves. And once again, I say, Syd, I love you, I miss you, and almost 6 years later, it's still hard to believe that you're gone, man. See you in the next video, you guys. Peace out.